So if you're there in the call,
Yes, good morning, Abdul. Can you see me?
yeah, I can see you. So maybe we woke up, we call you early morning. What time is it there?
Yeah, it's 5 a.m. here. So last time I was here at a conference with you, I was in the Netherlands, so it was a bit different time. So yes, it's a bit early here, but it's I hope I'm awake
Yeah,
enough to to give a good
wake
presentation.
up and actually join the session. Yeah, okay. So let me give a quick briefing. So we are going to talk about strategy analysis for supply chain organizations in Central America and of course the rest of the other part of the world uh, by uh, by Freddy Alejandro Villagran. Okay, I hope I pronounced correctly. Okay.
Yeah.
Alejandro, just to give you an idea, so Alejandro is an accomplished executive over 20 plus years of experience in strategy consulting, business development, and project management. So he drove sustainable profitability across global companies in energy, industrial, and consumer sector through analytical insights and also a keen business acumen. So I think Alejandro is helping many organizations in Central America and also some part of Europe. So I take this as an opportunity to invite Alejandro to give a lecture on this topic, strategy analysis for supply chain organizations. So this is very important because all the supply chain guys always they think about operations and they think about more onto the accounting and then the operations kind of thing. So they very they will not spend much time on the strategy part of the business. So I think it can be it will be very nice for every supply chain managers to hear from Alejandro about how this whole strategy analysis can be done from the supply chain point of view, and then how you guys can get the benefit of a strategy knowledge or whatever. Okay, so Alejandro, you can introduce about your organization quickly, and then you have all your time to brief.
Okay, thank you, Abdul. Can everybody see me?
Yeah,
I'm
we
sure
can see.
that. Okay, so I'll try to make sure my presentation is there.
Yeah, so we can see your screen.
So I'll move here.
Yeah. Oh, you have it. Yes. Yep, perfect. Yeah. Okay. We can see you. We can see your presentation. Alejandro, can you hear us? Alejandro, we cannot hear you. Maybe. Hello.
You can you hear me now?
And now is better. Yeah, please feel free.
Okay,
Yeah,
but let me put the presentation back. Can you still hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. Yeah, we can see your presentation. Hello.
Can you see the presentation?
Yeah, we can see your presentation and also we can hear you.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can hear you. Ale, can you hear us?
Abdul, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
We
I'm
can
not
hear
sure
you.
when I turn the presentation on if the
Your
voice
presentation,
goes down.
yes, no, we can see your presentation with your picture on it.
And can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
When I put
Also,
present, okay.
yeah, can you put the presentation back to the presentation mode? Let us see. Did you put it? Yeah, now it is in the presentation mode. We, are you speaking? No, we cannot hear you.
Abdul, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes,
When I
yes.
put the presentation on, for some reason the microphone goes off. So maybe I'll try to do it this way.
Yeah, why not? Just
Okay,
make sure that you maximize the size as much as you can.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can do that a little bit. Okay, so I'll have to do it this way. Anyway, so thank you for the introduction, Abdul. And well, this is me. As Abdul already told you, I'm a strategy consultant. I've been working mainly in Central America and Mexico and the Caribbean. I did work a little bit in Europe, but what I'm gonna try to do today is, since you guys are mainly focused in the supply chain management area, so try to link those two areas together. So, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of my background and my experience with these two areas, how they come together. Um, so I'm not just going to specifically talk about Central America. I'm going to use that as an example, but maybe I can show you how we do this link together with how important these two areas are when we work together for one. So I'm not going to go waste that much time on myself. So you can read it, and Abdul already did a great job. But what I'm going to try to do today is show you how we apply strategy management to develop the supply chain competencies in companies. I'm going to give you the perspective from the Central American region, although this applies basically to all the companies along all the world. And why do we want to do this? As we know, and as Clover and Pierce said once, and maybe you already are familiar to that, but the ultimate goal of a successful business strategy is to obtain a long-term, sustainable, superior corporate performance. So at the end, that's what everybody wants to do. We want successful companies to thrive in our markets, and as you all know, many of these are based on the supply chain management performance. So we'll try to link that up together, and for that we just make this main question: is that can a strategy focus on developing supply chain competencies drive corporate performance? And as many of you already know, the answer is yes. And how do we support this? And you can research many studies that have been done, and I specifically like this one by Green. This was done in 2008 and showed the link between supply chain management strategy to firm performance. And what they found is that they had a positive link and significant performance between financial performance and supply chain management strategy. So you can see here how the hypotheses of how the different studies went and the results were done. And you can see how supply chain management strategy impacted positively not only logistics performance, but also marketing performance. At the end, we saw a strong correlation between all these performances with the financial performance of a company. And of course, this is a beautiful graph I took from Green, but you can see it in many studies that have been done along the world and how this is really linked up. So this my first approach to you guys is try to show you that they're both positively linked together. And once you do a good work with the supply chain management, you're also doing a great work with your financial performance for your company. So we move a little bit further, and we can see how, and we can ask each other, how can supply chain and logistics competencies benefit from strategy management practices to significantly enhance their financial performance? So while I'm moving a little bit further here, and I'm going to give you a few examples. I'm going to focus on Central America, but what I'm going to try to do is try to link these together, and you can see how these practices actually do uh, enhance financial performance of a company. So right now I'm giving you a little bit of the theory, and what I'm going to try to move to the practice a little bit later from my own personal experience and what some of the works I've done previously. So what we do here in our company, and of course, Abdul already told you a little bit about our background, and we focus on strategy management. And as you all know, the strategy management does not only focus on one functional area. So yes, supply chain and logistics is one of the areas, um, but all of these benefit from our practice. Um, we can see that strategic management provides a framework of aligning all these activities, not only, of course, of supply chain, but all the activities that a company passes through with a broader business objectives. And we enable firms to adapt to changing market conditions and customer demands effectively. What we're not going to do today is like going through a complete strategy um, presentation here. And mainly what we're going to do here today is like focus mainly how the strategy formulation, which is part of the work we do, and how does this link up together to at the end of the performance of the company. So as you can see from the three main areas we focus on when we do the 3 stages of strategy consulting, we're gonna just focus on the one in the middle, which is strategy formulation today. So what does this encompass? Many of you have done maybe strategy management, and there's many frameworks we use and for strategy management, and I listed 5 of them. There's plenty of more, and depending on the company we are servicing, we try to adapt and tailor our services to each company. But as you can see, many of these are things that you do every day, and we sometimes start with the SWOT analysis, the pestle analysis, which is a very broad um, framework. But today, where I'm going to try to link up is the final 3 that I'm listing here, which is the Porter's competitive strategy framework, the value chain analysis, and how we link the key success factors and developing the core competencies. Because here, what we see a lot is while we develop the core competencies which are linked mainly to the supply chain area, it's like they do have such a big impact in companies today. So I'm going to try to walk you along what we do, and please feel free to ask any questions. Anyways, moving to Porter's competitive strategy framework, which many of you already know, focuses on 3 um, main primary elements or generic strategies that many talk about that businesses can employ to achieve a competitive advantage in the industry. And these are the main ones, which we all know, which is being focusing on the cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. And what we saw is like in many studies, and as Avlaka and Spillins showed in their studies as well, is that the cost leadership and differentiation and focus do have been applied to supply chain management and logistics industry to gain a consistent competitive advantage. So the studies have also shown that this does actually work, and you can see all the papers. And at the end of the presentation, I'm going to list many of the works I've consulted, but this is just to support the actual work we've done, and you can see it in many academic investigations that we have been done investigating. The first one, we talked about, is cost leadership. So cost leadership in logistics involves mainly on optimizing operational efficiency and minimizing costs across logistics and activities such as transport, warehouse, and inventory management. And this also shows many of the works that Green did and showed you before. And we've seen like in many companies and along the world, which is many of you already know, good examples include, for example, Walmart and IKEA, and of course, these companies are worldwide, but we've seen also in Central America many of these, how these can also link up with supply chain management. Moving to the differentiation strategy, we also see successful companies that have done this, and many of you know Apple and Nike. And what these companies have done is providing a unique and superior logistics services that are valued by their customers. And what customers mainly value in these cases is fast delivery, higher reliability, or more customized solutions. And interesting studies also done by Mogak and Rani also support this. And you can, as I told you, I've linked these studies as well, so you can see the relationship between these two areas. But as I'm trying to explain here, is like strategy links up with supply chain management in many forms, and it doesn't matter what kind of strategy you're following, it does have a strong correlation between both of them. And the final one is the focus strategy, which in logistics involves targeting a specific customer segment or geographical market, tailoring its supply chain offering to their unique needs. And this could be also shown positively by companies like Tesla and Whole Foods in the US, which has been very successful. And what they do is that they just focus on specific things, either in narrow cost focus or in differentiation focus. And as I show you, and Havlaka also show this positive correlation between these two frameworks. Then we move a little bit further, and it's important because you all know that supply chain management shows up in the value chain analysis we do with Porter. So one of the main elements of this theory and strategy advantage is to include analyzing the company's value chain. As you all know, the value chain is the company's main activities where value is added and costs are incurred. So if you work in supply chain management, you know many of this starts from the inbound logistics, ends up in the service. And when you apply this framework, it just gives you a strong framework where you also have a structured way to analyze many of the company's internal supply chain management activities. So as you can see, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to link up the broader strategy from Porter and try to link it to the things you do every day, what supply chain management professionals do every day. So you can see there's a very strong link here. And then you move and try to develop your competencies. We're very linked to what you do every day. So core competencies, what they refer to are the skills and abilities that give a company a competitive edge. These competencies should be integrated into company structure and operations and are challenging for competitors to replicate and require years of development. So once you start developing these competencies, mainly supply chain one, actually do give you a competitive advantage over your main competitors. So what this do is it provides you advantage over competitors. These are competencies that are hard to replicate or imitate, and it's a big source of value for customers and shareholders. And at the end, it's a complex and diffused through the company. So once you develop them, what it's trying to give you is it gives you a very strong way to compete in your competitive landscape. And at the end, how do these link up? When you define your key success factors in companies, they should be developed and maintained in support to one or more of the key success factors. And these key success factors are are the essential resources, activities, and capabilities that significantly impact the company's performance in its industry. So what you're trying to do here is once you know where your company really thrives or what needs to thrive, you try to see what are these competencies that you need to develop and make you actually be the market leader. So once you start linking these competencies to your key success factors, is what actually drives and makes a company real, a real leader in its market. So what I'm gonna try to do now is give you a little bit of the theory, and give you a case study, which I actually worked with this company for several years, a long time ago. And this is what I can tell you. This is a company that actually is thriving here in Central America. It's one of the leading companies, which is called Mixtolisto. And Mixtolisto is the leading provider of ready-mix concrete solutions here in Guatemala. It's been in the market for more than 70 years, and it's very well known for its commitment to quality, reliability, and innovation. So Mixtolisto serves a diverse range of construction projects. As you know, it sells concrete, um, and it serves residential to large-scale commercial developments. So what we did is we try to see what were our core values that were driving us first. And here I list them, and you can see them, and you can, if you are familiar to um, ready-mix concrete companies, you might understand why this is very important. So the core values here were quality. So you have to ensure that superior product standards and customer satisfaction of your products uh, reach your final destination. You need that the buildings or the roads you're constructing can rely very strongly on their product, which is the concrete. And that's why reliability is very important also. We used to say with Mixtolisto that the the most expensive concrete you could sell the customers were the ones that were not there, because you had to schedule the constructions, you had to schedule the machinery and the workers to be there every single day. So if the concrete is not there, you're not reliable, it could be the most costly concrete you have. So sometimes I remember discussing with our potential customers. They were saying, "Oh, but your price is a little bit higher than the competition," and we would try to remind them of our reliability and say, okay, but what's more expensive for you? Spending a few more dollars on each cubic meter of concrete, and hiring us, or just hiring someone else that cannot deliver or they're not reliable, and you have to incur many costs, for example, having the machinery there and everything. So and that's why the reliability was very important for us. Also, of course, we had to adapt to the customer needs. The innovation was very important, and also at the end, safety was also very important, because you cannot have accidents at the company or have health issues or safety issue with their employees or the clients. And of course, we have a zero tolerance of unsafe acts in our company. So that was mainly our values of the company. But then we have to see, okay, this is our talking points with the customers. So how does this link up to the actual work we're doing through the supply chain competencies that I've been talking to you about? So of course, when I told you how we faced our customers, you can rapidly tell we were doing a differentiation strategy. And why this, I already talked to you about. Our core values were there. So we actually saw our differentiation strategy here was reliant on superior quality and reliability, innovation and technology, having these customized solutions for our customers, because we knew that every company that was hiring us, every project that we were working with, had its different needs. So our customized solutions were very important as well. At the end, also the exceptional customer service was very key with this, because um, as I told you, every construction project is very unique in its way. So we had to really talk together with what were their needs of the customer. So if they needed to have the trucks deliver the product at a certain time, at a certain way, we had to really tailor our offerings that, and really communicate and give this exceptional customer service to them. And at the end, number 5, for example, they had to know that. because if they wanted to hire us, and of course we weren't the cheapest, we weren't competing with cost through a cost leadership strategy. We were competing with a differentiation strategy. So our brand was very important. So as you can see, everything had to link up together. So not only we were delivering our service, but the brand had to also communicate that with our customers. So this was our basic strategy with Mixto Listo. And for that, we knew that we have to really deliver on that. So we sat together constantly with the company, and we defined what were key success factors. And as I showed you before, and the part of the theory, we had to link this together with how the company operates afterwards. So we defined that we have three key success factors for us to be the market leader in Guatemala. And that was number one was product excellence. As I told you, we needed to have really high quality standards of our product because they rely on that. You cannot have, as you know, Central America is a very prone region to have earthquakes and everything. So you cannot have a building fall or have really trouble with that. So our high quality standards were very, very important. Or in the product excellence was key to that. We knew we cannot fail in this. So that's why we had number one, the product excellence part. And of course that involved innovation, customization, and also of course quality control. The second one was I told you is like order fulfillment. As I can repeat, this is a very an industry where you have to really link up together with your customer. You have this, you're just one of the operations that are working every single day to construct either a road or a building. So the order fulfillment was very, very important as well. If we fail to have our truck there, not only, as you know, concrete goes hard and you cannot use it if it's not there at the perfect timing. And we have very possibly in India you also have this as well, but we have traffic constrictions and road. So we had to really monitor this very efficiently. So we had to have very efficient logistics, responsive customer service. If something was going on, we had to delay maybe 15 minutes the truck deliveries. We had to be very keen to be communicated proactively with our customers. So that's why we have this responsive customer service there in charge. And of course, we had to have this precision and reliability to our customers. We had to be there at the exact time where the people needed the concrete to be there. And at the end, it didn't really matter if we had the best product or the best order fulfillment, but if the customers didn't know this, they probably wouldn't hire us. So that was very important for us to also build upon the brand reputation. That's why we put it in number 3. So we had to link this up very together to communicate practically with the customers, and that the brand, once people knew what they were hiring us, they would know that the brand reputation would withstand the other two key success factors, which is product excellence and order fulfillment. So this brand had to build up on the consistency and trust that we were trying to give our customers, the positive client relationships we had, and of course they should know that our company was the industry leader within the ready mix concrete solutions. So as I told you, these were our 3 key success factors. But how we would move a little bit together, and as I showed you in the framework before from Porter, we had to link it up with the core competencies. So we already knew what our key success factors were. So how we would link this up. So we said, okay, if we need these competencies we need these success factors to be the leader in the company, we need to build certain core competencies, and so we should try to define them. The ones we came up with were to be strong in supply management, strong in supply design, strong in quality control systems, very strong distribution capacity, programming efficiency, marketing, technical analysis, assistance, and post-sales support. So after we worked through this, we saw that these were our core competencies that we needed to build up. Of course, the company had been in service for many years, but then when you really define which are the core competencies you need to develop upon, it starts giving you a straight up strategy of where you should focus on. So then what you do is you try to do this matrix where you link these core competencies with key success factors, and you try to come up with which are the most robust core competencies you have to work on. So as I told you, we defined that the key success factors were product excellence, order fulfillment, and brand reputation. And we defined the core competencies as well. So once you see which are the core competencies that go in all the three key success factors, we defined and we came up to the conclusion that these were from the core competency we had, these are the two main ones that we had to work together to become the market leader at that time. So at the end, we knew that we had to develop even more our distribution capacity and our programming efficiency. So then, okay, of course, our strategy implementation, which is the third part of strategy management, is to actually execute what you're supposed to do. So then we move to really develop these core competencies. So we develop our strategic intent was to enhance Mixtolisto's market leadership by significantly expanding its distribution capacity and optimizing programming efficiency, ensuring that superior service delivery and operational excellence across all the service projects. So as you can see, we continue to move on, and then we start actually seeing where we have to work and where we have to actually execute our strategy. And these are the things now that it's been several years after we implemented this, I can assure you it's been a successful strategy, and Mixolista right now it's one of it is the leading company in ready mix concrete in Guatemala. And so our strategic intent was came down to certain things, and our two strategies was first one to expand distribution network. What we did after that, we have of course we had to increase our fleet size. So that was our first approach. For this, we had to analyze what was the optimal number of trucks we required to service the demand that we were having in the market. Also, we had to procure new and upgrade existing ones. We already had a fleet, but we probably needed a larger fleet. For this was also very important to standardize and accelerate maintenance, minimize downtime, because sometimes maybe we came up with having maybe 200 trucks for a certain area. But if the services was down or one of the trucks was in maintenance, we also had to start in developing all these competencies to standardize and accelerate maintenance and minimize downtime to be able to service our services. Also, we needed to grow in geographical reach. So we identified key growth regions. We knew we were servicing the whole country, but of course you had to be very keen to know what part of the geography was working a little bit better. So we had to identify the key growth regions and invest in new areas that were growing, and maybe we have very little existence in one of them. And the third one was optimized locations. Of course, you know that this is a very dynamic market, and you have buildings and projects working all over the country. So sometimes you cannot grow as fast as you can, or you have to optimize. You cannot just hire a truck for tomorrow. So we also had to optimize the locations. So we started to implement a hub and spoke strategy, so we could implement and locate our plants in certain regions where it was easier for us to service all the new projects. Also, when we had a very new project, we also partnered with our clients so we can maybe build and relocate one of our plants to one of their sites. And that was a very successful thing we also did. So we were also minimizing the costs of renting areas, because we would sometimes locate our plants at our customers' sites. And of course, as I told you, they minimize our costs. But also, if we had our plants located in their sites, that means the product would arrive immediately to their locations. That was also very important. And also, we implemented portable production plants. So for maybe medium-sized projects, we could also even move our plants from one side to the other. So we would geographically move from one region to another. So we invested in portable plants. So that was very important, because we would minimize the transport costs, the downtime, and also, of course, the customer would be very happy as we reduce our costs, and maybe we can translate to even lower prices of our concrete that we were delivering to our customers. And the second one was to focus on robust core competencies of optimizing program efficiency. So what we did here was we invested a lot in automated scheduling software, and that's where people like our Data Labs comes in. Data Labs comes in because we hired a very robust software that helped us through all of our supply chain management processes. Of course, in this case, it was an automated scheduling software. So this was we actually deployed scheduling systems that used real-time data to efficiently locate our trucks where they were traveling, and our scheduling delivery. So we use GPS and all these new technologies we were implementing to our trucks. And what we did is we reduced the downtime and maximized our productivity, delivering our concrete to our projects. For this was also very important to have our data analytics team up to date, so we can have predictive analysis. We can know where the geographies will be requiring or demanding more product. We could have very exact forecasts of our demand, and of course adapt our schedules proactively to really meet our customers' demands. And for this, of course, we have for one side our scheduling team, but we also had the trucks. So we had to really link this technology, the GPSs we had in the trucks, and the scheduling software to all work seamlessly to really optimize our fleet management systems. And we have the optimized routes that would actually service our companies, our customers. And so this is what we actually did, and what were the outcomes. As I told you, once we implemented our strategy to develop our core competencies, were mainly based on supply chain management. Was this actually effective? And as I showed you, the studies that have been done worldwide, and you can actually link up together are these supply chain management competencies with expected outcomes. This from real work that I did and real experience that I worked with this company, we could actually see that expected outcomes were actually consistent. And the end, after a few years that we implemented this strategy, we could see that we have improved delivery reliability. So we enhanced the distribution capacity, as I told you. So we increased our fleet size to the right capacity. We optimized the scheduling, having timely and accurate deliveries. And of course, that ended up being a great thing for our customers. And of course, they were happy. So they gave us trust. And of course, that let us increase our market share. We also had a greater operational efficiency. So we streamlined our processes using our software that I told you about, and all these other technologies, GPS, et cetera, et cetera. So they reduce operational cost and improve the resource utilization. Since at this time, you know that many of the higher costs for the company to implement was having the plant set up in different areas, and of course the trucks that are they're very expensive as well. So we improved the resource utilization, and that drove our costs down. Also, as I told you, that allowed us to have a market expansion as we better utilize our trucks and our fleet management that gave us the capacity to move our trucks to the different locations we had. So we have a greater geographical reach with the same number of trucks. And of course, that increased our market penetration and share. And at the end, what this translated into is, so we had an enhanced competitiveness. We had the lower costs from the industry and greater programming efficiency, and that translated on better prices overall. Although I told you we weren't competing through price or costs, but that at the end, what that gave us is a greater margin, and that allowed us to continually invest in more trucks and greater geographic reach. So at the end, we ended up being number one. So, so I can tell you this was a very successful strategy implementation through supply chain management, developing our competencies in the logistics and supply chain management area. So yeah, so I can tell you this is a very successful implementation, but that's not the only one that we've seen in Central America. Of course, the one I told you about is the one I worked together with and was hands-on working with, but we've seen other very interesting results that that we have here in Central America. And for example, we have Sigma Alimentos, which is located in Mexico and Central America, where they developed competencies based on wide products, a wide range of products in the frozen foods area, efficient cold chain logistics, and very strong market adaptability. We also have Walmart Central America, which is located in Mexico and Central America, and they developed their extensive retail supply chain. They had cost leadership through economies of scale and a very strong vendor relationship. Also, we have Grupo Lala, which is mainly based on dairy, and they developed their supply chain management competencies to thrive in the Central American region. Also in Honduras, we have a very successful example of a case study from the brewery. So they developed their core competencies based on their distribution network, having efficient production processes and market-leading beverage brands. So that was also a very successful case that you can look up. We also have FEMSA, which is based in Mexico and Central America also, and what they do is they market Coca-Cola products. So what their core competencies that they developed to become the leaders in the Central American region was mainly based on developing these comprehensive logistics and distribution solutions, their technology-driven operations and transport network. And some other 5 examples I have here are very strong here. We have Grupo Bimbo, which is a food production facilities that they're originally started in Mexico and they expanded in Central America. That they developed an efficient supply chain management. They developed also in their economies of scale, and they invested a lot of money in their extensive distribution network, so they can actually reach every corner of the Central America region. We also have a very interesting product in Café Brit, which is from Costa Rica. They produce one of the best coffees in the world, but they developed their high quality product differentiation. having one of the if anybody travels to Costa Rica, it's very interesting to see them. They usually buy the little bags of coffee, and they take back from Costa Rica to their country, because it's very well known. But as you can see, they became leaders through working through the core competencies of being a high quality product producer in the Central American region. Also in the food industry, we have Grupo Toledo in Guatemala, which focuses on quality products in the poultry production. So you have chickens being delivered all over the countries, and it's a very efficient um, um, operations they have. Also DHL, which of course DHL is all over the world, but they've become market leaders in the last few years here in Central America, and they outperformed the other companies that work here. So usually, if you work here in Central America, you're not hiring FedEx or UPS. You usually hire DHL because they become the leaders in this area. And how they did it is they really invested in having advanced logistics solutions, a global reach, with a very local expertise here in Central America. And the last one I'm giving you is Alimentos Pro Salud, which is it's a very interesting company that works from Costa Rica, and they have very efficient production processes um, and a very strong distribution network. So what I'm trying here to do is I started from the theory, and I linked up some academic papers to link this relationship. I walk you through a very interesting example that I have hands-on experience working with, so I can give you from my background to tell you this actually works. And now I'm giving you other interesting examples that just prove a little bit more of our theory and our theorem that we started at the beginning of the presentation, that there's a strong linkage between strategy management and supply chain management to make companies outperform their competitors and really gain a competitive advantage in the market. And at the end, I've given you the theory, the example, and some other examples that come from the region, but there's also research all over the world that support this vision. And for example, as Stank said in 2005, he says, by viewing supply chain management as a strategic level concept, organizations can improve long-term performance and create a value across the entire supply chain. We also have Duchesne and Smith in 2008, that their academic papers prove that strategic management promotes the adoption of advanced technologies, such as vendor management inventory systems, which facilitate real-time data sharing and decision-making. And for example, Subic et al. In 2012, they also proved that strategic management can guide organizations in developing sustainable supply chain practices that not only meet regulatory requirements, but also enhance brand reputation and customer loyalty. So at the end, if I want to close up with something from my presentation, and this is something that I've heard many times, and as I understand, Jack Welch said it sometime. I don't know if it comes from its book From Winning, but I've heard this so many times. And what I'm trying to tell you here is try and prove that there's not only there's a big linkage between strategy and supply chain, but as Jack Welch said, supply chains are not just part of the strategy. According to him, they are the strategy. So with this, I finish up my presentation. I'm linking up all the references I consulted and try to link up with my personal experience to try to prove you that if you do this properly, you can see that I can prove what Jack Welch said, and that supply chains are not just part of the strategy, but they are the strategy. So thank you. Abdul, I hope
Yeah,
I hope I could give you a strong case of how this works together, and I'm open for any questions that you may have.
yeah. I'm just trying to get that Jack Welch quote. I have a book, Winning, here. I'm just looking at it. Okay. So basically, yeah, I read it long back. So this is
You
okay.
do have it there, yeah. So I'm not sure if it was in his book. Like that was the only quote I could not actually really
Actually,
reference
if
with it.
I look at the date, it was 2006. Okay. So I really like this. I really liked it. So that was a fantastic book. Maybe I read it. So 2006 means it's 18 years back. So I really liked it and still keep it close to my deck. Yeah. So,
Yes, Abdul. So yes, then that's I really like that quote because I think it kind of just tells you that uh, supply chains in this era of the world and competitive uh, outlook, it's supply chain becomes everything, you know. So it's like yes, as I told you, differentiation is very important, and that's why I focus on a company that focuses on differentiation. Because sometimes we think supplying is just about costs and being efficient, but also if we translate that in excellent products and we link that with brand management and a successful strategy, we can actually outperform the competition.
perfect. I think you have really summarized the value of supply chain for the organizations. And very nice overview of strategy formulation, especially strategy analysis. Ale? I think that's a refresher for many of supply strategy professionals, and it's a new thing for supply chain guys. Okay, so I'm sure this is a very interesting topic for them, and if they would like to know more on this topic, definitely we can have another session on this topic, or maybe we can have an interactive call or whatever to clarify those things. Okay.
Yeah, Abdul, and you can share my presentation as well. And I usually like
Mm-hmm.
uh, to include in my presentations always my references and a lot of either uh, studies that have been done that people can consult because as you know, I'm a consultant and I use my experience but also frameworks from others and academic research to do my work. And but that's it's not always is my knowledge, but is I also use other people's knowledge. So what we try to do as consultants is try to use the best practices and available knowledge there's available in the world to optimize the companies. But that's available, and people can consult it, can reach it, and can read it, and I can help you either with my experience, but also guide you where you can find the right information that might help you to solve your problems.
Fantastic. That's a great. That's a great. Thank you, Ale. Thank you very much. And
Thank you, Abdul.
sincere thanks to you for joining all the way in the morning, 5 o'clock, and giving such a nice lecture. It must be coming into your dream. Otherwise, you will not speak so fluently, about this topic. Okay. So
Thank you,
thank
Abdul.
you. Thank you very much. And I really enjoyed. So have a great
Thank you,
time,
Abdul.
great day. And the team, if any questions for Alejandro, please write to us. We just either you connect directly to Alejandro or we share his email and contact details. You can reach him and then clarify all your questions. The the lecture video and also the presentation will be posted into the website and the link will be shared.